One of the greatest zombie games ever made is completely free. No More Room in Hell is a standalone Half-Life 2 modification that aims at giving players a simulation of a realistic zombie apocalypse. This game is a masterpiece as it is brutally realistic and you could do things you wouldn't normally be able to do in other zombie games. You have no heads-up display, the only way you could check ammo is by checking the clip of the gun, you can get infected if you're a bit, you could unalive yourself, there are children zombies, and the whole game is realistic. Every approach you take in this game has to come from a base of reality, as doing something reckless will only bring on danger. You could even be the selfish one in the group that gets everyone killed. This gives you the freedom to play out how a real zombie apocalypse would happen. This is what sets the game apart from others. The game is brutally realistic. One hit from a zombie can open a wound and cause you to bleed out, or cause you to become infected with the virus. Once you are infected, you have to hold off the infection by using phalanx pills, which is a reference to the book World War Z, which has a drug by the same name. Taking these pills is not a cure and only buys you 5 minutes before being overtaken by the zombie virus. The only cure is a rare gene therapy shot that can be found in different locations, or a bullet to the brain. If you suspect someone in your group is infected, you can kill them as well, as friendly fire is turned on only for the person infected. Are you infected?
No.
Liar. This is great for role-playing, as you have to make a difficult choice for what is best for the group. If someone dies and it isn't by a direct head hit, they come back as a fresh runner, which is the most dangerous zombie. You have to manage your stamina, which is ridiculously low. If you have a firearm, ammo is usually scarce. Taking damage will increase your chance of infection, but medical supplies are also in short supply. The best thing you could do is work together to keep the infected at a distance. Pushing them back takes up stamina, but your group can help if you're in a pinch. There are different types of zombies. This isn't like Left 4 Dead where there are special zombies that are tanks or acid spitters. There are runners, walkers, and children. Adding children to the game is an interesting choice, as some people see it as insensitive. People don't care that you're bashing people's heads in, but they draw the line at children. I think it was a necessary choice as it makes this game unique and adds more realism. In every zombie game there are only adult zombies, and even then there is no difference in demographics. Dead Rising 2 did have overweight zombies, which was fun and different, but it was more used as satire to make fun of American consumers for being obese. Zombies in this game are not usually a threat as they are slow and dumb, but if there's a large horde they become dangerous. Morgan said it best.
They may not seem like much one at a time, but in a group all riled up and hungry, man, you watch your ass.
There are 2 game modes in No More Room in Hell. There is Survival and Objective mode. In Objective mode, you start off held up in a location and must complete a series of tasks in order to call for help. You could be putting out fires to reach the next area, using a wielder to open up locked doors, tearing through barricades, or clearing hordes of zombies. All of these objectives lead to you finally calling for the military to pick you up. This is usually a helicopter, train, or car. Survival mode takes place after you've been picked up by the military. The National Guard has set up safe zones for survivors to regroup. In reality, these zones are used as bait to lure the hordes of zombies away from the major cities. You must protect these safe zones from waves of zombies. Eventually, the National Guard sends supply crates that have more weapons and ammo to defend the zones. This game mode is another reference to World War Z. At the start of the game, you hear the National Guard say,
Break, this is the National Guard. There are Red Ecker zones in your area.
This is a reference to Paul Redeker, a character who had the idea to place groups of survivors outside the country's main line of defense. That way the giant horde of zombies are split up into smaller groups and are more manageable. Objective mode is a stronger mode of the two. Objective mode throws you in the start of the apocalypse. You are usually held up barricaded in a room. It seems like supplies started dwindling and it was finally time to leave. At the start of these maps, there are sleeping bags, trash all over the floor, barricades, and a general feeling of being quarantined inside somewhere for a long period of time. We can all relate to this feeling, especially today since the pandemic started. One of this game's strongest qualities is its environment and map design. Since the game is difficult, you will be replaying the same maps over and over again. This doesn't get repetitive because all of the maps are dynamic. This means that every time you reset the game or die, the path you must take is always different. You may have to go through a building in one playthrough and through the sewers in another. It is also a deterrent to stop you from strategizing different areas of the map, as it is somewhat different every time. It also helps that the environment is beautifully executed in every map. It is based off the Source engine, which helps give it an eerie environment. The dystopian sci-fi feeling of Half-Life 2 blends perfectly with this post-apocalyptic setting. It's not only the fact that it uses Half-Life 2 assets. The developers go above and beyond to riddle every map with detail. They use their environment to tell stories. Here are a few examples.
I only got one mag remaining.
One of the reasons this game has been so successful is because the developers are truly passionate about their game. They released this game for free and have been fixing bugs and updating the game since its release in 2011. They are constantly adding maps both from the community and those made in-house. The game has built a cult following, and since it's easy to create and add mods, the community and developers have kept the game alive. Looking at the workshop, there is an endless amount of mods you could add to your game. The most recent update added first-person player models, bug fixes, and quality of life mechanics. It is important to say that they're doing all of this work for free. This is a breath of fresh air when you think of all the other games that were early access and abandoned by their creators. The No More Room in Hell team have been doing this work for free because their game is a passion project. You could tell by the amount of detail they put in their work. We see so many studios making multi-million-dollar projects that end up failing because it is so corporatized. The same game is released over and over again. There's no passion in some of these games, and it shows. Just look at Dead Rising. It started off as a masterpiece, and now the newest game is just a shell of its former self. No More Room in Hell was created to stray away from the other zombie games. Most of them are action shooters that are fast-paced. Even some games with slow zombies are still mostly about the untouchable action hero who is immune to the virus. No More Room in Hell is realistic in the way that there are consequences for your actions, which makes every interaction intense. It brings the horror and intensity of Resident Evil and mixes it with the grouping up with friends dynamic of Left 4 Dead. It makes a perfect party game for those who seek a realistic and thrilling zombie apocalypse simulator that is different from the action-packed cookie-cutter zombie games. That was the goal of the game, and in turn they created one of the greatest zombie games ever made.